Have you ever gone through your day with this constant weight in your chest because you're worried about your child? Wondering what's wrong? How do I fix this? What if this doesn't get better? And that worry, it doesn't turn off. It follows you throughout your whole day, keeps you up at night, and slowly starts to steal the joy right out of motherhood. Today, we're going to figure out what the root cause is and what you can do to simply stop the spiral. Welcome to Conquer Mom Stress, the podcast that helps you stress less and enjoy motherhood more. If you've ever crawled into bed at night completely exhausted, but still feel like there's so much left to do, you are in the right place.
Conquer Mom Stress.
I'm your host, Jill
The podcast
Gokul,
that
and
helps
I
you stress
believe
less
that motherhood
and
is meant
enjoy
to feel
motherhood
joyful,
more.
not
If you've
exhausting.
ever crawled into bed at
Together,
night
we'll uncover what's
completely
really
exhausted,
fueling your stress
but still feel
and
like
give
there's
you
so
the
much left
practical
to do,
tools to conquer it,
you are
so
in
you
the
can
right
finally
place.
feel like the
I'm your
confident mom
host,
you were
Jill
made to
Gokul,
be.
and I
Also,
believe
if you have
that
a
motherhood
specific
is meant to feel
question or
joyful,
issue you're stressing
not
about,
exhausting.
head over to
Today,
jillgokul.com
we'll uncover what's
/ask
really
to
fueling
submit your
your stress
question.
and
And
give
who
you the
knows,
practical
you might
tools
just
to
be
conquer
featured
it,
in an
so
upcoming
you can
episode
finally
so you
feel
can
like
get
the confident
practical,
mom you were made to be.
real-world solutions to
Also,
the
if you
exact
have a
challenges
specific
you're
question
facing.
or issue you're
All right,
stressing
friend,
about,
I
head
have
over
been
to
there
jillgokul.com
more times than I can count.
/ask
Each
to
of my
submit your
kids have
question.
had their own
And who
unique
knows?
struggles.
You
But
might just
one
be
in
featured in an
particular has
upcoming
been a
episode,
source of
so you can get
constant worry since
practical,
the moment he
real-world
was born.
solutions to the
It felt
exact
like every
challenges
time
you're
we made
facing.
progress, something new would pop up. One issue resolved, two more appeared. And I remember thinking, are we ever going to get to the other side of this? Will I ever feel at peace about his future? Because even when you say you trust things will work out, day to day, you're still carrying the weight of what if. Here's what most moms don't realize. The stress and anxiety you're feeling isn't just coming from your child's situation. It's coming from the belief that you have to figure it all out, that it's your job to solve the problem, find the answers, prevent future issues. So you go into full problem-solving mode, researching, analyzing, trying solution after solution, and when nothing fully works, the stress stays because you're still carrying the responsibility. This struggle isn't new. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 27, Jesus says, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your span of life?" Isn't it crazy how that as a mom, you feel like your worry and stress and constant planning, problem solving, trying to figure it out on your own, it makes you feel like you are taking action, that you're doing something, that you're helping. But scripture says that worrying doesn't add a single hour to your lifespan. Think about that. Worry takes away from you. It takes away from your life, your enjoyment. You miss out on all the moments going on around you. Not to mention how many hours you spend Googling, trying to figure out the answers, problem solving, playing out different scenarios. You are literally losing an hour of your life or more. Remember, scripture gives us such insight on what the truth of the matter is. Your instinct is going to be to try to figure this out on your own. Do it yourself and seek God last. But that is the exact opposite of what you need to do. In fact, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding." The tension is clear. We want to trust God, but we keep leaning on our own understanding, trying to control what only God can truly handle. When you believe it's all on you, your mind never rests. You replay scenarios constantly. You feel pressure to fix everything immediately. And when you take action, there is no peace. This leads to constant stress and anxiety, emotional exhaustion, feeling like you can't ever relax, and a loss of joy in your everyday life. It's like carrying a cloud over your head, fogging your ability to enjoy anything. Your child doesn't just need solutions. They need your presence, your calm, your connection. But when you're consumed with worry, you're mentally distracted, more reactive, and less able to enjoy them. What you really want is peace, trust, joy, and motherhood. But stress is stealing that. It keeps you stuck in fear about the future instead of present in the moment. So what do you do when you can't fix the problem? When there is no immediate solution? Well, Mama, you don't need more answers. You need a different way of carrying it. God is not asking you to figure everything out. He's asking you to walk with him. In James chapter 1, verse 5, it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, and it will be given to him." Here's something to think about. All throughout Scripture, we see this truth. God is a co-creator. He works with you, not for you, not instead of you, which means you're not meant to control everything. You're meant to seek him, listen, and follow his lead. So when something comes up with your child, your instinct is to jump into action. But instead, you need to pause. Ask God, what do you want me to do here? This shifts you out of control mode and into trust mode. Trust mode is where the magic happens, Mama. This is where you finally humble yourself and go to God saying, I need your help and I'm willing to follow you, whatever you tell me to do. This is where you put into action. James chapter 1, verse 5. If you lack wisdom, ask God, and he will give you the wisdom. He will let you know the way to move forward. This becomes your new rhythm. Stop, interrupt the spiral of worry. Ask, God, guide me. Listen, be still enough to receive direction from God. And then obey. Take action only when led. Sometimes God will say, take action. Other times he'll say, wait. And waiting can feel like doing nothing, but it's actually trust in action. But here's the hardest part, Mama. You may not get an immediate resolution. However, you can have peace in the middle of it. When you trust God, you stop obsessing over the future. You let go of needing certainty, and you become present with your child. That is where joy comes back. Here's a powerful reminder from Saint Gianna Beretta Molla. The secret of happiness is to live moment by moment and to thank God for what he is sending us every day. Mama, your joy isn't found in everything being fixed. It's found in trusting God in the unknown, being present in today, receiving each moment as it comes. Even when things feel uncertain, there's still beauty, there's still connection. There can still be joy. I remember one moment so clearly. After months of stress and trying to fix everything for my child, I finally stepped back, stopped trying to control it all, and I told God, I trust you. You lead. And almost immediately, I saw him start working. One issue resolved without us doing anything. And later, when another issue came up, wouldn't you know, I slipped back into control mode again, tried everything I could think of, burned out, and only when I returned to God did the right solution appeared. A simple one that we never would have found on our own. Mama, you don't have to carry this stress alone. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to live in constant anxiety. Even when you can't fix the problem, you can trust God, ask him for help, follow his lead, and still enjoy life. So today, when the worry starts to rise, remember this. Stop the spiral. Ask God for wisdom. Listen, and then obey. Let God carry what you were never meant to hold. When you do this, Mama, you are going to find a whole new world open up in front of you, one that's free from stress, the more you remind yourself to practice this action. Stop, ask, listen, obey. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Conquer Mom Stress. If today's conversation encouraged you, hit follow and leave a review. That lets me know that these episodes are hitting the topics you need. And while you're there, share this podcast with another mom who might need to hear it. Your thoughtfulness might just be what she needs to get through the day. Remember, this is your place to pause, rest, and start conquering mom stress, one small step at a time. Motherhood isn't meant to drain the life out of you. It's meant to be lived with joy. even on the messy days. And together, we're going to find that joy again.